Tonight, 6 o'clock, Taylor and I will be over in Coleman Coliseum postgame coming up. After that, we get an opportunity to see two national championship contenders, I believe, in Florida and Alabama. I'd put them 2 of the 6 best, 2 of the 8 best teams in the country. And when it comes to offensive efficiency, they are 2 of the best teams. 4th at the Ken Palm offensive efficient rating for Florida, 3rd for Alabama. I don't know what the over-under is tonight in MyBookie.ag.
I got it. What do you think it is, Jim? You want to guess it?
It's a big number.
I would say 85. That's I'm going to say 174.5.
You would take the under then. It's 178. Bama favored by 3.5, a total of 178.
Obviously, Alex Condon's back in the lineup.
Florida's 100% for the first time this year, I think.
Yeah. So you go back to last year in 2 matchups against Alabama. They won by an average of 16 points, and they averaged 103.5 points per game.
Yeah.
So, look, Alabama had no answer for the Florida offense, which I think this Florida team is better than last year's Florida team.
I do too.
I think this is going to be an interesting game for Alabama tonight. I think Alabama loses the game.
I think they have a matchup. I mean, I'm not saying this is Bruce Pearl to Buzz Williams, but I think this is a matchup problem for Alabama because of their guards, their ability to score on the perimeter, and then inside they're more athletic inside than Alabama is.
Yeah, and look, in their ball rotation, I mean, Todd Golden has got the offense. I mean, he's cracked the code. And I would expect Todd Golden, as long as he wants to coach at the college level, that Florida is kind of a destination job. I think he's going to be there for a long time. Now, if the Alligator had their way back in September, October, Golden would probably be out, but man, he is one of the best young coaches out there.
Oh, so you don't think he would leave for a place like North Carolina or
maybe North Carolina? But I think it would take
Kansas if that came open.
There's just a few jobs that you could pry him away from. Yeah. I mean, look, it's proven that you can win national championships in Florida.
Absolutely. Even in the heartbreaking loss on Saturday. I loved the way Alabama played in that game. Loved it.
No, I said that. I thought. I mean, Alabama played the better game for 39 minutes and 30 seconds. Unfortunately, as Nate Oats says, he kind of kicked the last 30 seconds around, and that got Alabama beat. And I always credit you for saying this. You're one of the first people I heard say it, is because we're such a football-hungry state, I think we overreact to singular basketball losses. And I think there's some overreaction to that Tennessee loss because I think this Alabama team's playing really good basketball right now.
Got to get just because of their defense. I mean, I thought they got in there and battled it the other day.
Yeah, their defense has improved.
Yeah,
I think it has.
On the other side, though, Chris Youngblood's got to get more consistent. You go from 27 points to 2 points. I do love Stevenson coming off the bench, 3-guard lineup now.
Oh, I love when it's Phylon Sears and Youngblood or Holloway Sears and Youngblood. I love that. Love that because it moves so much faster.
I do want to pull back a little bit when I said that Florida's going to win this game. I think it's going to be a tremendous game. I think it can go either way.
Why are you pulling back?
No, I'm not as dead set on this one.
It's been 4 minutes. Did you get a little update on the phone?
No.
Inside information?
No. Inside from the locker room?
Lance'sLock.com. I've just got new information. No, but what was the old commercials?
Straight from the locker room.
Straight from the locker room. I've got some exclusive information.
Of course, I'm giving you my pick on a Thursday night. The game's not until Saturday.
When he's in the locker room, but still.
When he brought up 1 seeds, Nate Oats, I thought he was going to say, there's not much difference between a 1 and a 2 because I will never doubt what Brown told me earlier this week.
It blows me away. I
can't scoff at this. Did you do it yesterday or Monday?
No, it was Monday when you weren't here, and you may have seen, I tweeted it as well, so you might have seen it. Since tournament expansion, the percent of 1 seeds, the percent of champions that were 1 seeds since tournament expansion. There have been 39 tournaments since the expansion, so it's pretty good data.
I get all 4, not number 1 overall. I get all 4 1 seeds.
Yeah, that's just 1 seed.
It's just a 1 seed that has won the national championship. What percentage of the time do you think it is? Or you can give me the number. It's 39 total championships.
I would put that number between 45 and 50%.
It is 64%, 25 of 39.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
So the 2 seed.
I would have been. To me, half of the time would have been the ceiling for me on that.
2 seed is 12%, 5 times.
Oh, wow.
Out of 39.
Yeah,
and that
it's surprising.
So blew me away.
Combine those two, and what's my percentage?
Combine those two, and what did I say? 64 and 12. So you got 76. 3/4 of the time, it's going to be a 1 or 2 seed.
1 or 2 seed.
Mm-hmm. So that's one way you would look at it.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
But but here's what's weird. I don't guess this is weird.
See,
I think
can
there's
I
a
just say
bigger
one
difference
thing?
between. No, I think there's a bigger difference. Like the overall number one and the fourth number one, I think are almost the same team. I think a lot of times there's a pretty big difference between the best two and the worst two. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah, I agree.
So
with
I
that.
think that does, I think, impact that number a little bit.
Yeah, I would like to know this, and somebody in the chat room may have said this when you brought it up on Monday. I feel like the game has changed a little bit from the expansion. I would like to know the numbers the last 10 years.
Well, it's not going to help you on your two-seed argument because I think most of the two seeds won it before the last 10 years.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, the last 10 years. I feel like the tournament has been a little topsy-turvy, a little bit more than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because of the freedom and movement out there. So at some point, if somebody can do the last 10 years for me.
I'll just make this point. Going into yesterday, this was Joe Lunardi's two seeds. Florida, these were Joe Lunardi's two seeds. Florida, Alabama, Michigan State, Iowa State.
Yeah.
And I think Iowa State is a really good basketball team. I don't think they're in the same class as Alabama and Florida.
I think they were at one point this year, but
maybe
they're not
but
right
they're
now.
not right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure Michigan State is. They're going to end up winning the Big Ten in all likelihood. And I know we respect Tom Izzo, but I don't know that they're in the same class as Alabama and
I
Florida.
would put Iowa State ahead of Michigan State.
Yeah, so you would definitely say they're not in the same class.
And
so,
I would say Alabama, Florida, Tennessee,
but
Auburn,
so
way ahead.
your one seeds, Tennessee, Houston, Duke, Auburn, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between those teams.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that play out on the court. I mean, Auburn's played all of them, right?
Yeah, you can
and they
mark-
lost to Duke. They played a very close home game to Tennessee and a very close, quote-unquote, neutral site game against Houston.
You can mark it down. There will not be a Big Ten team in the Final Four.
Okay.
Only
Jim's on it.
did you bring this up? Only 5 twos have ever won.
That is correct. I did. But I think the last one, was Villanova in 2016, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and confirm that.
Buzzer beater?
Yeah, I think that was the one. I think Villanova was a 2 seed.
13 of
First
the
time ever on
past
TBS?
17.
Yeah, you're right.
13 of the past 17 champions have come from one seeds.
Yeah.
So that's your last 10-year number you're looking
So
for.
13 of the last, how many? 17?
17.
Have been one seeds?
Yeah.
I'm stunned it's that big of a difference because I used to think, is there really that big a difference between a 1 and a 2?
Yeah. I believe we may have more than 4 one seed type teams this year. I think we got 6 of them.
I think that's true almost every year.
Yeah.
I think almost every year you can look at it and say, yeah, there's probably 6 1 seeds here, and they can only make 4 of them, or there's 5 1 seeds, they can only make 4 of them.
I'd be totally happy going to battle with, on a neutral site NCAA tournament setting, with Florida, with Alabama.
Tennessee, if they happen to be a 2.
Guess Tennessee.
Well, why do you say you guessed Tennessee?
I put Tennessee below Florida and Alabama. I know the outcome in Knoxville, but just like
Well, they
last
split
night.
with Florida and they beat Alabama, and that is hard to overlook. But I'm like you.
Yeah.
This is not a popular thing to say after Saturday. I think Alabama's the better team.
Yeah, I think there are 5 teams that I would be happy to go to battle with in the NCAA tournament on a neutral site. It's Auburn, it's Duke, it's Houston, it's Alabama, it's Florida. To me, those are the 5 best teams.
I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue against.
And when those 5 teams lose, and 4 of them obviously will, maybe all 5, it'll be a big upset unless it's against each other.